Welcome to the family with
Co-host Catherine Brandt.
Mike Bryant.
And Andy Brant Bernard.
No, is Alex here? No. Is Alex going to be here tomorrow? No. Is Alex going to be here Wednesday? No, we don't have a show Wednesday. So apparently Alex took a 9-day vacation for Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
In the real world, her pay would be docked.
Yeah.
There you have it. Michael had a story that he's very interested in. And I said, why don't we just talk about it on the show? So I don't know much about it. Now, what's this all about?
An employee at Macy's hid $154 million in delivery expenses. And they just found it and apparently delayed their earnings report. And yeah, that's
How do they not notice?
they probably were good at putting in the expenses, apparently.
There's a lot of
Guess
people that are
so.
very, very good at, extortion
Oh,
and
yeah.
fraud. I mean, look at the state of Minnesota is fraught with fraud.
Yeah.
Hundreds of millions just
It does
gone into
disappear.
the air.
That's true.
Yeah, because people aren't paying attention, or I remember my parents sold their house in like 1977, 78, something like that. Somebody bought it, lost the house 5 years later because she was embezzling from her company.
Oh.
I remember the Golden Valley license DMV.
Mm-hmm.
They had a small, wonderful, like two desks. You could always get in. You could always get
Right,
your license, change
right.
everything. That was closed because somebody was embezzling.
Yeah.
I mean, it happens all the time.
Yeah,
Well,
it sure
do you
does.
remember the story about that banker who figured out how to get every rounded over penny?
Yeah, it's called salami slicing.
Yeah, and turned it
Really?
into and he had like a Lamborghini and a house in Paris.
Yeah.
And
Of course he did.
that come from?
Maybe try to hide it a little.
Of course he had a Lamborghini.
Be slightly subtle about it, perhaps.
I have an investment group with some very smart, nice ladies, and I remember reading an article about 6 months ago and bringing it up to the group about how Target Corporation was probably something you should dump the stock pretty quickly, and
Okay.
they are and a couple of the people I think work at Target. I know people that work at Target. Target, has been a very big employer for the state of Minnesota for a long time. All of a sudden, this stock just tanked. Because I guess they just can't take the pressure between Amazon and
Yeah.
Oh,
Walmart
sure.
and all the other retailers. I don't know what's going to happen with Target. I mean, I think Target stores do pretty well in Minnesota.
Yeah, they
But
definitely do.
there's a really huge Target store down here in West Palm Beach in a really nice shopping area, a high-end outlet mall and Whole Foods and everything's over there. And the store is just filthy.
Yeah, it
It's
is.
just gross.
Yep.
And you're just sitting there going, why Target? Why? And nobody's ever in there.
Sure
I-
that's
I-
not Walmart?
I think part of it is because it's gross. I know.
just a
Walmarts are
red
much
Walmart.
nicer down here than Targets for some stuff.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Yeah, that it is like it's interesting. Like we went to a Walmart in South Dakota on our honeymoon, and I was like, oh, it's going to be dingy and disgusting. No, it was actually really nice.
Yeah.
So I have a question for you, and I'm very serious about this question. Why, when you see that coming, that a place like Amazon, why didn't Target step up and go, well, let's take them on head on? We've got a much bigger name.
Well, Target does a pretty good job online now, and I just don't think people think of Target
No.
first because Target
No.
will link you to outside sources. Even stuff they don't carry now, it's outside sources. So, I mean, they do it, but I don't know if the pricing is great. I don't know. I mean, I haven't done it enough, but I do. I've ordered I've ordered some furniture in a box from Target. I've ordered like a small refrigerator from Target, and it all comes, that freezer we had in the lower level. That was at Target.com. Super inexpensive.
How was their
Shipping was
delivery?
included.
How was
Shipping
their-
was included.
Was it fast though? Because that's one of the things Amazon does. It seems like they send it to you before you order it.
I think Amazon's getting slower and slower, personally. I've noticed a lot of things don't come as fast. And I also noticed that my little Prime button is always off unless I turn it on. It's like a default to turn it off, which is strange.
That is
Maybe
strange.
Tom figured out a way to do that.
I shut her down.
I mean,
whenever
right now I've done a lot of Amazon shopping because they've had early Black Friday things. So I've already purchased some Christmas gifts, and I haven't bought anything from Target. And to tell you the truth, it's like, Fawny is a little fashionista. I go to Target, I go to the store, and they don't have anything in her size, and they don't have anything that's all that great.
Yeah.
Their selections are getting smaller and smaller and smaller, and I don't know what's going to happen.
Well, I got to ask the three of you, because I think it's a huge mistake, and it's not which party they chose, or that's not what I'm saying at all. But I see now that Amazon has gotten very political, supporting one party, and why would you do that?
Amazon's always been political.
Yeah, they're
Have they
big
really?
tech. They're,
Yeah.
it's in their best interest to support the party that's going to get them the cheapest labor.
Well, and another big reason is they use the U.S. Postal Service for a lot of their
Yeah, that's
shipping.
true.
And
yeah.
oh
And
yeah,
they
they're
don't wanna
very.
make-
If the USPS stopped giving them a deal, I think they would probably go out of business.
Yeah, have you
That's
guys
a
tried
big
to-
part of it.
Have you guys tried to ship anything at the post office? Or
It's not cheap.
Even UPS. It's so expensive.
Mm-hmm.
I had to ship because mail because it was way more expensive to UPS. 3 little, those highlight books, those puzzle books. 3 of them, $10.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the worth of those things was $12.
$12. Yeah, it costs almost
But
much.
I wanted them to have a little Thanksgiving present. I was just like, $10. Oh, okay, for one envelope.
It is all true. Yeah, I don't know. I cannot believe how expensive things have gotten. I mean, it was brought up by Kristen Bird on the morning show this morning that a lot of these companies now that own a lot of television stations have got some problems because nobody watches local TV anymore.
Yep.
No,
I guess
they don't.
at all.
I
Maddo's
cannot-
got to go from 30 million to 25
I
million.
know.
Yes,
I
it's
don't
She's
know how
making
she's
that
gonna
much money
eat.
it's disgusting. $30 million to read what other people wrote for her.
She has 30 million reasons to be outraged at all times.
That's true. Yeah, it's all very, very true.
Horrible. I suppose I
know.
could make my announcement that
Yeah,
I am.
yeah.
The scan showed no metastases.
Great.
So I can't say for certain that it's all gone, but odds
It's
are
okay.
I'm good.
That's
Excellent.
great.
That's excellent.
Good to hear.
Yeah,
Yep.
fantastic.
Yep. So not
A nice
not
thing
going to have
to,
any issues in the foreseeable future.
a nice thing to know going into the holiday season.
Yeah. On Friday, I got my scan at like 9 a.m. and then the results came in at like 4:30 p.m. just before everything closes, of course. And I'm like, oh, let's give it a look. And yep, there it was.
So
Well,
is
that's
the,
good.
is the pill all out of your system now?
Not all. It's going to sit in the existing thyroid tissue for a while. It takes a while, though. It's radioactive, so it's harmful, but the radiation level is low enough that it has to sit in there for a long time to kill it all. Because otherwise, I'd end up with a hole in my stomach when I swallowed the pill.
Y'all better, or is that still giving you a problem, or is it all?
I'm 90% better.
Oh.
There's just still a thing here and there going on, but I feel I'm eating whatever I want and that sort of thing again.
Excellent.
So now we're just basically waiting for all that existing thyroid tissue to get melted away, and then it'll be done. Outside of my thyroid, yes, pretty much all of it is gone, or my thyroid, cells that remain.
Excellent.
What was that song, Radioactive? Who
I'm
did that?
radioactive.
Who
Yeah.
did it? Do you remember?
I do not remember.
Was
No, it's Imagine Dragons.
no? I thought it was.
Is it?
Is it not?
I don't think so. I thought it was.
It is Imagine Dragons.
Oh, is it? Okay. Nice call.
The only reason I know that is because it's so overplayed, or was so overplayed.
It did get played a lot.
Yeah.
You were right about that. No
I was
question.
missing it. I was messing it up with Titanium. That was the one I was thinking of,
Oh.
which is some.
David Guetta. I don't know. I don't know
Something
who
like
these
that.
people are.
Mm-hmm.
I just got a text message just sent on my watch to me, and I'm not going to say who it is or whatever, but I did some checking, and apparently it is true. There is a politician in the United States of America, third-generation politician in their family. Their parents were involved. I guess the father was involved, and then the grandfather was involved. This person currently makes $175,000 a year as a politician, and they are worth $200 million.
Huh.
Where'd that money come from?
Is that all?
Macy's delivery fee
A lot
fraud.
of them really make some very good investment decisions.
Yeah, I bet they do.
Based on insider information.
That's a good investment.
That's
I mean, Pelosi, you got to admit, even if you're, just love her to death, she has had some very iffy stock trades about the EVs and transportation and things that just all of a sudden they just buy tons of stock
Yeah.
and something
It's
that
legal
they're voting
insider
on in a
trading.
month.
Well,
Yeah.
that gal in Louisiana got knocked out of the Senate because of what she was doing on committees, and some of it you can do, and it's allowed, which
Yep.
is.
I don't think
But
any
that's a
of it should
crazy
be
thing
allowed.
about having a system like the stock market. It's
Right.
I agree.
it's like some of the bets you have sometimes on sports. It's like bets on how long the national anthem is going to be. How does the singer not clean up on that one?
Find out about it and just set the timing for whatever they want.
You're singing the song. You know how long you're going to go.
Yep.
Yep.
It is true.
Speaking of the Vikings,
That was good. They won.
Oh, well, we watched that game. You know who
How?
watched
Barely.
it the
I mean-
most intently of all of us?
Who?
Colin.
Colin loves the football.
He was just staring
Cool.
at that TV like,
I
"Ooh."
remember Sage at a certain stage when he was
Yeah.
tiny, and
Yep.
he was one of those inconsolable kids that you had to carry
Mm-hmm.
around with you all the time. I remember one time babysitting him, and there was a football game on, and he actually sat in like a little baby chair and
Yeah.
watched it. And I was like, oh, thank God, I can.
I mean,
put
you
it
got these
down.
bright figures moving all over the screen. The
Yep.
grass is
Yep.
bright. The uniforms are bright. There's a lot of movement. It's
People are cheering.
right up the alley of a little baby.
Yeah.
They got the win. The Gopher game was the one that should have had the win, but that was a call.
Pissed that away. So I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever seen a team with an 11-point lead give up the tie in, I think it was a minute and 30 seconds or something like
God, I
that?
couldn't believe it.
I know.
But
What?
here we go. Typical Vikings.
Yeah, Michael's friend was there, and we glanced over at the score, and we're like, well, it doesn't look like they're going to be closing that gap anytime soon. And then a minute later, we look over. And
It was a weird
Wow.
game.
Say that Kostaki has something to say about that,
Yeah, he will.
as far
Yeah.
as the leads.
I would imagine.
The last few games, I mean, we won a game without scoring a touchdown not too long ago. I mean, it's just been like, what's going on?
Oh, they're winning the games though. But so that
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
that's the W. That's what matters, And there's such a difference between that than people that were saying on Saturday. Well, at least we're close to Penn State.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Top 10
Hey,
still
yeah.
pretty good.
Did you ever think you'd live long enough to see the Lions be good, though?
Oh yeah. Well, I remember them being good for a while, and when Barry Sanders was playing with them.
Yeah, that's true.
And so, yeah, I remember that. But we'll see. We'll see what kind of playoff team they are, and whether or not he can coach in the playoffs. We'll see.
Yeah, well,
Yep.
that's a good point. There's
But-
no question about that.
It'll be interesting because it looks like San Francisco may not make it. There's a couple teams that if Houston makes it, Houston looks horrible. So we'll see. We'll see what how they're playing. So Catherine, I was telling Tom, I sat next to a guy who was 90 years old on Saturday, and that meant he was 30 when I was born. I mean, it's like, wow, dude. He had quite the story. He was a rancher in South Dakota as a kid, and he he had his whole history as a salesman and all the traveling he did. And it was really great listening to him talk about different things.
I know. I like listening to old timers because they've gone through, I mean, if you think about it, somebody in their 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Think about
World
how the
War,
world has changed
Korea,
since
Vietnam, internet, computers, color
Yep.
TV.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean,
1924, you're born.
Yep.
I know.
Like,
It's like
no, not 20,
34.
34. Yeah,
But
1934.
nonetheless.
Still, they remember World War II.
Oh yeah. You got to duck a number of wars there.
Yep.
Jesus.
And it was funny because he's like, I've been a Republican my whole life, and I'm just not. I don't like what's going on right now. So he was interesting to listen to from that perspective of his history.
Chuck Woolery, how old was he? He died over the
It was
week.
83, I think.
It didn't say what.
I think it
how
was
old he
83.
was.
Yeah, I believe he was 83.
I remember why my mom watched his
Oh,
game.
okay, yeah.
He had a game show. What one was it?
Many.
He had
Wheel
a
of
lot of
Fortune,
games.
I mean,
Love
the big-
Connections,
Yep.
Scrabble, Greed, Lingo.
Greed. Don't remember that one.
Maybe.
Greed was only for 1 year,
Yeah.
so that'd be why.
Really good guy. You used to have him on the KQ morning shows. A very nice man.
Didn't he get into like production? Because it wasn't
I think so, yeah.
Woolery production. You know, I
Yep.
think he was one of those guys.
I think you're right about that,
Smart
but
to do.
he was really good at his job, though. I really loved watching because he'd always go like this: "We'll be back in 2 and 2."
And two and
Two
two.
and two.
Yeah.
It does not say his cause of death, but I mean, at 83, does it matter?
Yeah.
What?
He was only 83.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was
I
only
thought he'd be
83.
older than that for some
I know.
reason.
Well, I mean, I think he got his start pretty young. Let's see. Yeah, he had a music career in the 60s.
Huh.
I didn't
When,
know that.
yeah, he was barely 20 years old at the time. But yeah, his first game show, it looks like, was Wheel of Fortune. He
Yeah.
was 34 when that came on, so I don't know.
Nice 50-year career. That's good.
Not bad.
Yeah, he did pretty well.
No question about it. So we've covered basically
So
the what?
you guys got to start watching. Man on the Inside.
Man, who's in that?
Ted Danson. It's on Netflix. It's a eight episodes, half an hour episodes. It's really pretty good.
We've got a lot of shows we're watching all of a sudden. We started watching Landmen.
Land
I'm
Man.
interested
Man.
when you see episode 3 if you still like it, Catherine, because
Land
I think
Man.
I think it's jumped onto the side of it's a guy's show and it's not.
Oh, it's a
really-
guy show. I think.
But it's gotten even. I'm interested to see your reaction to number 3.
Okay. I don't know. I made it through Mayor of Kingstown.
Oh well, yeah, that's a.
That's a guy show.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm like, why am I watching this?
Yep. Mhm.
But you get invested in this family. It's like, what's going to happen to these people? Nothing good ever. And why doesn't everyone leave Kingstown?
Yeah, it's a good point.
Everyone
Next-
should just move away.
I've got through another season of Ted Lasso, which you guys have gave up on early, but man, what a great show that is! Oh,
Yeah, Alex loves it. Tom says it's silly.
Well, the first 2 episodes were not good.
if you
What?
get
They're
in
never
further
good.
into it, I think you'll like it.
All right.
Yep.
We'll give it a whirl.
Well, sometimes you listen, sometimes you don't.
Oh, and here we go.
There was that movie I tried to get you to watch forever. What was it called? The gal from Dalmatians. Not
Cruella de Vil.
Cruella de Vil. I tried to get you to watch that movie forever, and you never would watch it.
I've never
Such
seen
a good
it. yeah.
movie.
Oh,
It was
does
an
it mean
excellent
Cruella?
movie.
Yeah.
That was a great movie.
Cruella's great.
Yep.
I've heard good things about it, but I don't know.
Well, there's that one movie. It's the most famous movie of all time, and I've never seen it because it's 3.5 hours long.
Is that Gone with the Wind?
Gone with the Wind? Yep.
Yep.
I've
That
never
one
seen it.
movie.
I watched
I
it for
even
the
read the
first
second
time.
book. So
There's a second book.
yeah, there's a second book. Yep.
There is?
Yep.
Gone with the Wind 2, Gone Harder.
Yes, that's what it is, I'm sure. No question about that. But yeah, again, I hate to say that television is the best it's ever been because broadcast TV has fallen apart at the seams, unfortunately. I mean, all that stuff now, it's amazing because of, AI and all the rest of it, that all the stuff when we were kids it was watching television, listening to the radio, reading the newspaper, and nobody does any of that anymore.
Yeah. You had like 3 channels,
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
Yeah.
It's a whole different world now. I think it's a better world because you're seeing shows like Landman and Tulsa King. And I mean, Catherine and I are watching that show called Until I Kill You. It's a British show. Really, really good.
It is. It's really good. Did you ever watch Endeavor?
No,
With
he was
Sean?
saying that was the same
That's
guy.
a great show. Sean, what's his last name?
Evans.
Evans.
Yeah.
He's really good in Endeavor, and he stars in this, and he plays a pretty convincing psycho.
Oh, God, is he ever. True story. It's a true story about a woman that moves from Texas to England, hooks up with a British guy, and it does not go well from day one. I mean, it was the first day, it was horrible.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
What's it called?
Until I Kill You.
Yep, Until I Kill You.
Well,
It's
it
called.
doesn't leave a whole lot to the imagination.
No, that's true. You kind of get the hint of what it's all about anyway.
I think that she's going to kill
Starts off
him.
bad.
But I don't know. That
Oh,
could
there
be
you go.
Do you think she's gonna kill him?
It would be self-defense.
That would be.
So is it,
100%.
is it still going, or is it season's all done?
I think it just streamed a couple of weeks ago. We've been looking forward to it because we like him. He's not in a ton of stuff.
No, he's not.
He's in some very old stuff where he's just sort of a cameo.
No, it's a 4-part thing.
Yep.
They're all out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep,
They all
they're
came out within 3 days. So
He is just such a fantastic actor.
He really is.
He really
Very,
is.
very good.
What
And
was
the
the
woman,
name of?
whoever plays the woman, I've never seen her. I watch
No.
a lot of British shows and movies, and I've never seen her before.
Anna Maxwell Martin. She's in a bunch of stuff I've never heard of.
What was the name of that show that we were watching? That was the guy that was wrongfully put in prison, and he got out. It was about his sister trying to clear his name. Do you remember that show? It was out, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, and we all of us watched it.
Sister was trying to clear his name.
God, I don't remember
He's
that.
a
One.
real quiet guy. You know, he tried to keep to himself when he got out of prison because people still thought he had done it. It went back to some
O.J. Simpson?
no.
Yes, it was okay.
It was they'd killed a girl at a party, and it was the rich kid who had done it. I think is what the actual.
Oh yeah,
thriller
I
was.
remember that.
Oh.
It wasn't called. It wasn't Justified, but it had like a single name, I think. And they actually used it at this end. Trying to remember what that show is, but that
Yeah.
actor's completely disappeared.
Huh. Anybody in the chat? Anybody
Anybody
in the
know?
chat?
Yeah.
Remember what we're
Anybody?
Anybody?
Does anybody know what we're talking about?
They never do. It's like, what the hell are they
What's the
talking
problem
about?
with these shows? You know, especially when they're like limited series.
Mm-hmm.
You know, 3-4 years later, you remember sort of, but you know, and when I binge watch something, I never remember anything about it. A few.
No,
years
that's the
later.
thing. It's the whole like waiting a week to watch 22 minutes of a show. It's like it's unfathomable by today's standards.
That's
But
very
it really
true.
did make things like matter in the cultural zeitgeist because it's like
Oh, yeah.
everyone's watching the new Simpsons and then they're talking about it for a week.
Right.
And now here comes a new one, and you got a whole new set of quotes, and everyone's talking about that for a week. Everyone's always talking about it. Whereas if it all comes out at once, everyone's done with it in 4 days.
And
And
you
then
can't
2
talk
weeks
about it.
later, no one's talking about it
Right,
anymore.
'cause
Well, and you
it's
can't talk
moved on.
about it because you might have spoiler alerts or something. You know, you can't
But
give it up.
That whole thing of September coming along and the new shows that would come out or this show would come back.
Yep.
Happy Days is back. Yay. So
Yeah.
Happy Days.
No, I loved Happy Days. It was a good show. The
My
Fonz.
brother
Yep.
watched that show a lot.
You don't get better than the Fonz.
We finished Corner Gas.
Oh,
Finally.
you did. Okay.
Well, Tom said that Freebie's going away.
No. Okay.
he
I think
read the
I think that's
freebies.
true. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's going
So we
away.
were watching it on Freebie, and we thought, oh well, we better watch the last few episodes because who knows if you'll ever be able to find it again. And it's on something else now. I don't remember what it's on.
It is, yeah.
Didn't they
It's
have
not
a
some-
wrap-up show at the end, like a longer hour special that was like the wrap-up show?
Yeah, where there were some false starts where you didn't
Right.
really know what was going to happen. Yeah, they did. But we doled those out for so long. We can go back and watch
The first
it
season.
because it's like
Yeah.
9 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be a lot of them we're not going to remember.
I thought there were only 6 seasons.
6?
No, there was not. I think it
I
was
thought there
9.
was
I
9.
Was it?
I think
Andy?
A lot.
Andy's good at researching this.
But-
there was a lot of seasons because I watched it all in like a week.
Are we still talking about Corner Gas?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yes, 6
because
seasons.
Six
only
seasons, yep.
6 seasons. Well, there were a lot of episodes then in the
Mm-hmm.
seasons. Not like today.
Well,
where
they're
there's, like,
22s, right? Yeah, they're 22s. So yeah, they have like some of these shows have like well, actually no, these are not very long seasons. The
No.
first season only has 13 episodes, and then
13's
18.
a lot. Now
Yep.
it's usually 9 or 7.
Well, that's because they're 44s usually now.
Mhm.
Or
Well,
I mean, they don't
Right.
even do that format anymore. Now it's just however long they feel like.
Mhm.
But,
Yes.
Yeah, we used Corner Gas sort of as a filler because we'd watch 2 shows and then be like, oh, well, it's only 9. Let's watch something short. And we'd always hit up Corner Gas because there's not a
Yep.
lot of short
Nope.
No,
shows. There
I
just
gotta,
aren't.
I gotta ask Michael this. Did you ever watch the animated version of it?
Yeah, I did. I saw
you? Did
everything
you?
out there on it. Yep.
Did you? Because we've
Oh,
not
yeah.
watched that yet.
Is that
Should we
any
watch
good?
it?
No. It was, you know,
Well, never mind then.
so
How many
yeah.
seasons was the animated one on?
I don't know, Andy. You'd have to answer that one.
Animated Corner Gas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think there might be is there an animated movie?
Oh
too,
yeah,
maybe?
Corner Gas animated. It's called
Mhm.
4 seasons.
Oh, wow, it went down that long.
Yeah, it sure
I don't
did.
think I got through all of those. I think it was like, yeah, this is dumb.
Was it just the same episodes, just in
I-
animated format?
No, I
or-
think they had their own storyline, but they were really dumbed down storylines, and it just wasn't the same.
maybe more for kids or something.
And I don't. Yeah, I didn't like it much. So
Okay.
And
I love Oscar.
there was a movie or two too. They did at least one movie, I know.
well, there's that wrap up. It was a longer wrap
Yep.
up
Yeah.
at the
Yep.
end, and that was kind of in a movie format.
It was really good. That show, I thought, well, I remember, didn't you watch the whole damn show in like one weekend?
No, yeah, that wasn't. I think it was a week to do it, but yeah, I watched everything. You guys put me onto it, and I watched it all.
My dad one time called a butterfly a son of a bitch.
Oh yeah, the Corner Gas the movie 2014.
when they were borrowing imaginary money and like they owed each other imaginary amounts. You go write your check for $1 million. Go ahead.
I thought it was it was very well cast, I will tell you that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It
Well,
was-
Corner Gas the movie had a budget of $8.5 million,
Holy God.
Oh, was it
and, and it made $700,000 in the box office.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah,
Swing and a miss on that one.
that
Not
might
going out
be
in a
miss.
blaze of glory on that one.
No.
That's too bad.
Catherine talked to him a couple of times. And
No, we texted a couple of times.
I thought you talked to
He
him on the phone.
commented on a couple of my
Was it text or tweets?
tweet.
Oh, that's
And then
why.
we were DMing trying to get him on the show, but then I think
Didn't
that they
work
looked
out?
at your Wikipedia page and decided that we couldn't possibly do that.
Yeah.
Because I'm a racist and a homophobe.
Don't believe
so I-
Wikipedia, people.
Oh, God, what a joke that was. I should have probably sued
Compromised.
them.
I spend so much time writing it. I just want somebody to see it.
Yeah, there you go. That's exactly it. That is exactly right. So, yeah, I commented this morning, and I really don't understand the thinking behind this, but Howard Stern went on X and told people, if you voted for Trump, do not listen to my show. I don't want you listening to my
I don't
show.
think anyone's listening to a show anyway.
They're not.
Are they?
I mean, that show's tanking huge.
I
now.
thought he had Trump on his show a number of times.
That's what I thought. What happened to that?
Yeah.
I don't know. Everybody is just so nuts. Why do you think it is? I mean, you're an attorney. Why are people so wound up now? Everybody hates everything and everybody.
Yeah,
It's like, oh my God.
These last couple of elections have brought in a lot of new people on both
Yeah.
sides.
Yeah.
And how new people respond to losses is always kind of interesting.
Yeah.
It's one of those things you look at, and there's always another election. 2 years, 4 years from now, there's another shot at doing
Yeah.
it. And we'll get through it. And I hope. I mean, it was funny. I got a text from somebody the other day that said, "Well, I hope you enjoy the next 4 years." As if
Yeah,
like,
I
and
know.
I
What?
congratulate him for the win. And I said,
Yeah.
I like our country. I hope the next 4 years go really well. I don't agree with some things,
Yep.
but
Yep.
I hope they work out. That's what I want to see happen to the country. I do not want to see bad things happen, so.
No, absolutely. Well, look, I lived through the first 4 years of Trump, and I lived through 4 years of Biden. I mean, like, calm down.
Yep.
Why are people so involved emotionally in politics?
I don't know. It's what they get fed. Some of the stuff they're seeing on social media that convinces them, it's one way or the other. And it's like, I don't get some of it, so.
Yeah, I just don't understand why it's such a big. They're already pushing now because they talked about running Kamala Harris again in 4 years.
Yeah,
No. We got to go with Tim Walz. I'm like, what?
Well, I mean, different people have different shots at it. Her
Yeah.
name ID is still good, so they come out with a poll where because
Right.
of the name ID it was higher. But a lot's going to happen between now and then. I expect she'll run for governor of California. Is where her next thing she does. So,
Do you think that Biden will step aside and she'll be the president for about a month
That's
and a
an
half?
interesting thought.
It is,
She'll
yeah.
become
I
the
wonder.
first woman president that way. I guess I could see that. And again, it goes, how much you believe about how bad things are with Biden. And I keep hearing it's not as bad as people portray it. But I don't know. So I see
you mean
people on
cognitive
Facebook-
skills?
I see people on Facebook commenting all the time that I'm sure are much more insiders than I am. So
Yeah.
who knows?
But would you want to be like, okay, so you're the first female president, sure, but you were given the position
Right.
out of pity, and you get to hold it for a month.
But you're still
Would you even want that?
Yeah, president of the United States for I'd be president of the United States for a day if they gave it to me. I think it's
There you go.
It's an amazing thing, and also it would take care of the whole issue of the first female president, because there's a number of people who will vote certain ways because they just don't want to support that, and it'd be a good way to get it out of the way.
Get it out of the way.
get it
That's a delightful reason.
Finally, we're done with
Like,
this crap.
My point is, it's not an issue next time. There's already been one. It's not
always going to be an issue. Everything is a hysterical issue.
Yeah, we've had a
That's what we
black
do.
president, and it's still a big issue. Everyone's always like, "Oh, you vote for the white guy. It's because you're a racist." Even though we've already proven that this country is willing to vote for a black guy if he's good.
I think you get her in there for even if it's a month, and it proves the whole country doesn't go to hell. We didn't start a war. She was able to make decisions all through the month.
What I would do is I would give it to her on the last day.
Yeah.
One day.
Here you go. Here are the keys.
Well, I have a question for
When
you.
you're done.
How is she going to raise that $20 million that she overspent?
Oh, I'm sure she'll get donations.
Oh,
She's probably
yeah,
got
it'll-
it.
no
That's not a
problem.
That'll
No
be
problem.
taken
But
care
what
of.
I'm saying is she overspent $1 billion by $20 million. That's not a very good sign for a president.
In
No.
3 months, too.
And
Yeah, 3 months.
Tom, she didn't sit down and do it like, okay, I'm going to pay this bill and this bill. That's all part of the campaign.
I know,
She doesn't
I
have
know.
control over how much they spend. She just
Well, she
runs all
should.
over the place,
No, I mean,
No.
I don't think so.
No.
Somebody gave me $1 billion, I'd be watching every penny. I'll
Well,
tell you that.
see,
Yeah,
this is another thing about our entire election process. It's like if it's all about money, if you can win just because you have more than $1 billion,
Yeah,
what's the point?
I
mean,
agree.
if it's all about money,
It's all
that
about
they're-
money.
Well, and also, I mean, okay, so she's not writing the checks or whatever, and she's just looking at her itinerary and being told what to do and strategizing and all this stuff that they do on a campaign. But the campaign manager certainly spent $1 billion,
There's
and
no
on
question
a
about
lot
that.
of really stupid stuff too.
Yeah.
A
But
lot of really stupid stuff.
the same people talking about the story of how much they spend are the places they got to put ads so they can get known. And if you're going to
Yes,
run for
yep.
president of the United States, your name ID needs to be out there so much so everybody can, like Tim Walz, nobody knew who he was in California or in other states. It takes a lot to do that and expensive. Although I don't know if the number's still correct. George Will used to say that we spend more money on Easter candy than we do on elections. And I don't
not
still
anymore.
true, but that was true as of 10 years ago.
I think they should just debate a whole bunch throughout the year or whatever, 6 months, however long. We should not have political campaign ads, none, zero, because most of them are lies. So they get fact checked, and the lie's already out there, and it's just too bad. Nobody gets fired or whatever for just lying their asses off. You do debates, you fact check them right there and then, and that's how you decide who knows what they're talking about, in my opinion.
Then the person with the highest name ID is going to have a lead because,
They already do.
But you can get a name ID really fast by putting ads out there and by, spending that money to do that. So
I still think if you have good ideas and you can articulate them, I think people will be impressed with that rather than just listening to a bunch of propaganda lies over and over and over again. And since you cannot trust a medium outlet, there's none that aren't biased in one way or the other. So we can't trust them as news sources to not lie about another political candidate. The whole thing has just gotten so diluted and so filthy. There just has to be a better way.
I think it's always been diluted and filthy. They used to shoot each
So
other
just
on
debate.
the floor.
Yeah,
they
know,
really
that-
did.
So just
So,
debate.
I don't know. But I do think you should get a hold of Ms. Burt so she knows what platform you're laying out there for that next campaign. The KB and KB campaign.
There we go.
We got
Oh,
the
yeah,
shirt
KB
right over
and
there.
KB
still.
That
too.
sounded like a whole platform on what you're going to lay out there. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that. This is what we're gonna do.
The one thing that I don't understand is why I can't even remember the woman's name, but she's a very popular singer that basically screwed Kamala Harris out of $5 million.
Oh, Beyonce.
Beyonce.
Oh yeah, that's
Beyonce.
right.
I always say it wrong.
Said she was going to sing a song, would cost $5 million. She paid the $5 million, and then she never sang the song.
Did she actually say she was going to sing a song, or was
She-
that just
what
the
she told Kamala Harris.
expectation of the crowd?
I guess she told Kamala Harris she would come out and sing a song, and then she $5 million, and then she didn't sing the
Isn't she
song.
worth almost $1 billion?
I
if
think
not?
so.
I mean, why do they do these things?
I don't
and
get
like,
it
why
either.
did Oprah lie?
And why did Oprah lie about $2 million?
Beyonce's
Why
net
did they
worth.
do this?
Yeah, 750 million.
She's almost a billionaire. Why would she? I mean, if she said she was going to sing a song
God.
and she got a check for, she probably got the check up front.
Yeah, oh, God, yes.
Oh,
Why
I'm
would she
sure
not
she
sing
did.
the song? It just doesn't make sense.
Any of it.
No.
None
What
of
I'm
it
so
makes-
still surprised at is the number of people out there who take it on IOUs on campaigns. You know,
I know,
yeah.
for real.
oh my God, how long has that scam been going on? You know, where they get rented cars or they get,
Yep.
you know, a restaurant, and then good luck with that, Bill.
Yeah, never going to get paid.
Mm-hmm.
Are politicians just naturally filthy?
I don't think so, but
Positions
I
of
hope
power
not.
attract megalomaniacs
you
and
know.
narcissists.
Yep,
Yeah,
it does.
good point.
It sure does.
and I do think that the people who came out of the army or the military or the Peace Corps or ran businesses that had some background that weren't just young people getting into politics.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
they actually have some beliefs, may not agree with their beliefs, but they at least have some core beliefs as they go in there, and that made a big difference on decisions they made in the 70s and 80s. Although, you know, you look back at some of the decisions they made that seemed like good decisions, you know, it's like,
Yeah.
I don't know. You know, when you look at, the guy we had on, the food guy that talked about the Johnson administration and all the FDA changes that came in with him, and they were financed by sugar or something.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, Vinny?
yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Oh, yeah,
oh
yeah.
my God, it's like
I know.
oh,
It's unbelievable.
You know, so it is scary. So that
It's
you
very scary.
don't know if you can believe anything out there. So except
Well, I don't think you can.
billboards and radio, you can believe those ads.
Yes, exactly. Only if the billboards are in St. Cloud, though, or are on the way to St. Cloud.
Yep. So
No question. Yeah, I just really wish that it just was so expensive to be alive these days. Everything is incredibly expensive because of people pissing money away on stuff like that.
The gas is going down. I saw 260 gas
I'm
on the way home.
buying gas in St. Cloud for $2.40.
Ooh.
Really?
There you go.
Yeah.
It's still pretty expensive down here in Florida.
I might
It's
start
usually
drinking
over
this stuff.
$3.
Well, there's
gotta
actually a
drink gas.
reason for that. We're shifting over to the winter blend up here, which
Oh,
is
that's
cheaper.
right. Yeah.
It's cheaper because it's got more butane in it, and butane's cheap. It's also much lower gas mileage, but because
Why do-
butane has a lower ignition temperature. So if your gas tank is -20, without that, it might not ignite at all. Your car just won't start. That's why old
Jesus.
car, like whenever you watch a movie from the 60s or 70s, there's always a joke about their car not starting in the winter.
No,
It's
I was
because
pretty
they
much
didn't do that.
driving in, in
That's
a
one of the
car.
reasons.
I drove a car that needed to have remember carburetors?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There used the little thing called a butterfly. I used to open it up and spray some sort of something down
Starter
there so
fluid.
my car would start.
That's what
And
starter
block
fluid does.
heaters and all of that. Oh my God.
And they never
yes.
started a fire.
I never had a fire, but
Yeah, 'cause I remember watching my dad put out a fire in his pickup truck after
Ooh.
he ran out of gas and then went and got gas and poured it in, in
Oh,
the
got it
carburetor
everywhere.
and just started. No, it was you'd prime the engine by pouring it into the carburetor, but every once in a while that'd start a fire. So he burned up one of his Levi jackets.
Oh.
I had the little rivets for a long time. I kept this after watching Dad fight the fire.
that was in the 80s, Andy. It wasn't in the 60s
No.
or the 50s.
That was the
That's-
70s is when that was. So
Well, I had
Carburetor
old
time
I had
still
old
works.
crappy cars in the 80s.
Did they still do? Don't they still have carburetors?
yeah, well
I think so.
I don't No, I don't think
They
so.
do on small, like 2-stroke engines,
Oh,
I
do they?
believe. Since the 1990s, carburetors were replaced by fuel injection.
No.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Hasn't been a carburetor.
Yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense. I remember there was a line in Frasier. Frasier's car wouldn't start, and Niles goes, "Maybe it's flooded." And he goes, "You can't flood a fuel-injected engine, Niles."
You can't?
Yeah, so at the time, fuel injection was a cool new thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I
But
remember
no, you can't.
my brother had a Volkswagen Thing.
Oh, the
Bug?
thing, yeah.
Oh, the thing. No, it's called
Yeah.
a thing.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
Literally,
called
you,
a
you
thing.
literally
Yep.
had to prime it with a little, stick thing inside the car. It had a gas heater, which never heated up until you ran the thing about an hour and
No,
a
of
half.
course not.
Yeah, you guys miss out on all the fun of crappy old cars.
I
Okay.
knew a family that had a Volkswagen Bug, and I think all 10 of the kids learned to drive that thing. Like that was their first car for all 10 of the kids. And it's like that just showed you how tough that car was.
Yep.
No question. I got to run something by Catherine here.
What?
You said you drove crappy cars in the 80s?
I sure did.
No, you didn't. In 82, you got a brand new sports car.
I got a sports car.
Yeah, that
Sports
black
car.
one. Remember that?
The Firebird?
Yeah, was it the Firebird?
It had a carburetor, I think.
Well, I know, but you said crappy
Oh,
cars.
no, I had a Vega, okay? I had a Vega.
When I met you, you had a
That's
Vega.
a crappy car. I had a
Four-cylinder.
Vega.
Okay, tell
Yeah,
Michael
and
and
I
Andy.
think your brother wrecked it.
My brother Tony.
Yeah.
Tony?
How did I know to guess Tony?
He's
But
got a
tell
bad
him-
track record with cars.
Yeah, he kind of does.
He kind of does.
You should probably tell Michael because I think Andy already knows. But you once jumped a car with your four-cylinder
Yeah,
Vega.
my Vega.
Wow.
Rolls Royce.
A Rolls Royce
Yep.
wouldn't start, and she jumped it with
Oh,
her
yeah.
four-cylinder Chevy.
Wow.
Yep.
Have
sure
you ever
did.
jumped a car, Tom?
No,
You haven't?
no.
How did you ever have a car in Minnesota and never have to jump a car?
Well, first of all, I didn't really start even driving till I was like 21.
Well, nonetheless, Minnesota, there's a lot of dead batteries.
That's
in
true.
The state of Minnesota.
I suppose that. Well, thinking about that too, is the first few years I didn't even have a garage. So
Which makes it a lot worse.
yeah, that's true. It's a good point.
I
Yeah, I
jumped people
remember.
in the parking lot at Bradshaw and Bryant.
Yeah.
So
I remember.
junky cars.
My favorite battery jumping story was Doug was in. We were doing car selling secrets, and we were talking about how you used to have to jump batteries all the
Yep.
time,
Mhm.
and he was like, "You basically never have to jump a battery anymore. Modern batteries are so reliable, and the
Yeah.
systems are so
That's right,
advanced. You
Alex.
never have to jump them anymore."
Really.
He goes outside. His battery is dead. That same day, not
Alex.
30 minutes after he's talking about how you never have to jump cars anymore.
That's
So I had to
phenomenal.
go out there and we had to jump his car.
Alex had a lot of battery problems.
Yeah.
2 years ago, constantly
Really?
dying. I don't remember if she was leaving the lights on or something. Yeah, she always had a dead battery.
Mm-hmm.
I had
I've had a dead
I was
battery
remember
lately.
watching these next door neighbors. There were two brothers that did all sorts of stuff to each other. They were jumping a car, and the older brother thought it was fun. It would be fun to lean over and take one of the jumper cables and hook it on the guy's inner thigh legs.
Oh.
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 He caught the end
Oh.
of something as his brother went running down the street, dragging the cable, screaming.
Oh God.
We had to tackle
God.
him so he could take it off him because he just was in so much pain. So
Can't
Yeah, those
believe
things
it.
they're designed to bite into metal.
right,
Yeah.
yeah.
Man, he's
Yeah.
lucky he didn't tear his femoral artery.
Yeah, well, that was
Yikes.
there was a lot of forethought put into that before it was done.
I guess
think?
not.
I remember one particular winter up in Minnesota. I was living in an apartment complex in St. Louis Park, and the winter was so brutal. People had to get up every hour and a half for like a week to start their cars overnight
Oh, yeah.
because there was no indoor parking.
Oof.
Yeah, that's when everybody learned about something called block heaters.
Wow.
But you still had to plug those in, right? I think block heaters.
I think originally you had to. Didn't they have some that was like they were either chargeable or they ran with gas? I think. So
I don't know, but I remember people just that winter was just horrible.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Is that the one where my car caught on fire in front of your
This
house?
was way before your time.
Oh, it was because that was Hopkins where you lived when I met you.
Yep.
But yeah, I had a brand new car. It snowed about 800 feet, and I went out to start my car, and it started on fire for some reason.
Started on fire.
I
That's
think it's because
interesting.
you were gunning it so hard to get out of the little ice
Mm.
mound.
That would make sense.
It was an old, brand new Oldsmobile Cutlass.
Yeah.
Oldsmobile
was.
Cutlass.
That was
Yep.
that was Capitol Records, your
It was
your
Capitol
company
Records.
car.
That's exactly right. My company. That's one thing about being in the record business back in the day, and there really is no record business anymore because there aren't any records anymore. It's all digital. But yeah, I mean, you got an airline card, you got a brand new car, they were just. Well, first of all, Capitol Records had the Beatles and Bob Seger and Steve Miller, so it wasn't like they were broke. Let me put it that way. But
Does anybody have an airline card anymore? I don't. Unless it's
Airline
An actual card?
yeah, it was an actual card. You could fly wherever the hell you wanted
Wow.
to, and it would go
Like a
right
phone
to the
card,
company.
but
I
for
li-
planes.
I love the guy who had the food bill over at Nate's suits or Nate's clothes.
What do you mean? All right, tell the story.
Well, it's your story, not
Well,
mine.
you tell the
Great
story.
story where the guy would go buy suits and get a bill like it was a menu, like he'd bought lunch for somebody all the time.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, that's very, very true. God, that guy, he was a vice president of the company, and that boy could spend some money. I will tell you that. He could spend money. Holy God.
Now working at Macy's. So.
Yeah, probably. That's probably true. All right. Any closing words for you kids?
I don't know. We got Thanksgiving coming up. Got to be thankful for all the listeners out there, all the clients out there, all the people that come to us for help.
I'm thankful for dairy, salt with iodine in it, egg yolks.
You've been watching what you're eating lately,
the
have you?
small-
On a
things
low
in
iodine
life.
diet, you can't eat any of those things.
I'm actually
can't eat
thankful
any-
your results came back so well, Andy.
That too.
Yes,
I'm happy that I don't have any
that.
metastases. That's something to be thankful for.
Yeah, and if you could just please stop having parts
I know. I'm
removed for a while, that
so
would be.
sick of just stuff going wrong.
Why do you think that is?
Well, thyroid cancer is just one of those things that it just like happens. No reason at all.
No reason.
Yep.
Well, a lot of people are. I won't get into that.
What?
A lot of people are saying that all these vaccinations are causing all this stuff.
No, you hear the water, you hear, all.
Oh yeah, there's
a number of stories.
microplastics. There's
Yeah.
a million theories, but
Yep.
I don't know.
Mhm.
Just
Yeah.
luck of the draw.
Yep.
But
is
so
this
we're
stuff-
doing a show tomorrow,
We're doing the show tomorrow, but not on Wednesday.
but not Wednesday.
But you're doing the morning one.
We are doing the morning show on Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Oh, you are.
Was it
Yep.
Thanksgiving where the guy used to show up with all the food? Or was that
Yep.
Christmas where, the guy would bring the giant plates of food? So I'd always try to time the day I came to the podcast.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
nice.
That when we used to
Oh,
get
yeah.
the pizzas with Molina. We used to get the pizzas on
Mhm.
Fridays.
Oh, Mike Molina. He's living in New York now. Isn't he?
I
think so.
talk to him by text like every couple of days. So,
Great
He
guy.
would send me a few texts a year, and I don't think I've gotten one from him
Oh,
lately.
yeah, I get a card from him every year from my birthday.
Yep. He's a very sweet
Oh,
guy.
he's just a great guy. Really, really. He's one of the biggest Italians I've ever met in my entire life. How
Absolutely.
broad shouldered that
He
boy
is
was.
a big Italian.
Big Italian boy. That's all I have to say. But I don't know. We'll see how it goes. So, anybody have any travel plans for Thanksgiving?
nope.
Nope.
What are you going to do?
We're gonna go to the Lexington and St.
Oh,
Paul
okay.
Hotel, and then
Ooh,
the
that's
next day
good.
we're gonna go to Les Mis and the Timberwolves game. So it's a full docket.
That'll
You
be
do
fun.
have a full docket. What do you got, Andy? What are you going to do?
I'm just gonna go over to Melissa's mom's. Have
Oh,
some-
that's not a bad call.
Michael likes to cook,
Yes,
so
he does.
Oh, I didn't know
you're
that.
lucky. It's always nice to have somebody that cooks in the family.
Yes, it is.
We're
We
having
used to
dinner
cook
with
a
your
lot,
brother.
but we've got a
Yeah, we're
toddler.
going out. We're going to go out because I mean, cooking a turkey for 5 people kind of dumb.
Yeah.
No, you can't go out with a toddler either.
Well, you can.
You can,
You're
but
limited
it's not
McDonald's
fun.
and
It's not fun.
It's not fun,
Not
so we're not
fun.
going to do it.
I mean, like if you got a bunch of people, but yeah, just like the two of us with a toddler and a baby,
Oh, it'd be horrible.
I don't think so.
Yeah, why bother?
How do you think Ethan would handle it?
No, I
would
think
just
you
wanna
would.
get down and
Yeah, run around and
Yeah.
break things.
right.
You know what I love about this, Michael, honest to God? because when I'm in the room with Ethan, he and I get along really, really well, and we laugh and joke. And he used to sit next to me and watch. What was the name of that show?
Bluey.
No, the one before Bluey. Oh, Tumbleleaf.
Tumbleleaf.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
Tumbleleaf.
Yep.
He would sit next to me and watch Tumbleleaf and all the rest of it. So I called Andy the other day to ask him some question or whatever, and Ethan was there next to him. He goes, Ethan, you want to say hi to Bop Bop? No.
Nope.
No.
It's like, no, I
He
don't.
let me read him a story the other night.
He did.
Nice.
I'm surprised he didn't.
He makes tea
Do you guys FaceTime the kids very often?
Yeah.
once a week, probably.
It's really cool how that you can do that now.
I know.
Yes.
I think back, like my dad used to have to like call a landline,
Yeah.
and get me in my room, or
Yeah.
it's like, we'd talk
Yep.
probably once every month,
Yep.
and now
it was
it's
a
like
big deal to get a
you know,
phone call.
Yep. That was
Now you can just FaceTime one another,
Right.
no problem.
Mhm.
My
That is
father had a
nice.
sister who moved to Seattle after high school. She got married, moved off to Seattle. I don't think he saw her but twice in like 40 years.
Really?
People
Wow.
just didn't travel.
No, they did not.
People
You're
didn't
right.
make long distance phone calls. That was
Mm-hmm.
wasteful. They wrote letters. You got a Christmas card. You got a letter if something happened, like somebody had a baby or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a different world.
Yeah, I was talking to a lawyer. He said he's got more contact with his daughter now that she's at college in California than he had when she used to live in the house.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I
Just
believe
'cause
that.
They talk all the time.
Yeah.
And it's just it's that part of it of technology is so cool as far as that
It
goes.
is nice. I remember Fawny when she was really little and she wasn't, a
Cool.
cool breeze
Yeah.
like she is now. I was like, oh, we miss seeing you guys so much. And she's like, we FaceTime you all the time. Like, doesn't matter.
That is true. All right, that is going to do it. Any closing words?
Have a wonderful Thanksgiving, and I actually do have to call you, so I will do that sometime today.
Is it a good call or a bad
Of course,
call?
it's a good call. It's from me.
Oh, I'm glad to hear
Always a
that.
good
That
call.
sounds good.
Jude's ready to be done with the
So I'm
podcast. He
as
got
soon
up.
as he said, "All right, that's going to do it." Yes, Jude. Can you
see
see him?
No.
Oh, you can't see him.
No, he's
paw-
pawing at the chair like, shut up.
Shut up, so we can leave. Shut up,
Judy.
I
Dad.
don't know what you've got to do, Jude.
Okay, so you're going to call me about what time?
I'll call you sometime. I'll actually be in the car if you're around. I'll give you a call in about 15 minutes.
Okay, I'll be around. I got nothing going on except I am going to eat a few chicken wings from Publix because their chicken wings are the best I've ever
They
had.
really
And
are
he's
good.
shaking his. Yep, they
They are.
certainly are.
Wow.
Very good.
I'd go get a
Probably-
croissant if I was you, but
Oh,
We
Louis.
did. We caved. We had
I
one
take the
last
chicken
week.
wings any day.
really over the croissants.
Yeah, absolutely.
How about the
He
lobster
doesn't
rolls?
eat gluten anymore.
How about the lobster rolls over at the beach?
That's
I don't know. Those chicken wings are good.
They are phenomenal.
I think you got to get your head checked because
It is time to check your noggin. All right, that's going to talk to you tomorrow.
Bye.
happy Thanksgiving.
Bye.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Got a picture in my noggin reminds me of this one was before. Every time I hear the same reminds me how you talking